An area nonprofit is helping people learn how to get the most bang for their buck. Well, Nicholas, I want to get to some testimony that happened just within the last hour. The last witness called to the stand today was a forensic biologist. It can be hard to experience drive-in movies here in North Dakota, especially during the winter months. It's free and it's also available by going to the Narcan brand website, found right on the back of a box like this one. And inside that freezer, they found a plastic container. In that plastic container, broken down parts of a handgun. We're not the only ones who wanted to speak with him as questions continue to swirl about the deletion of late Attorney General Wayne Stidham's email account.
They've had to sort of shift focus. He says initially their focus was on ensuring that Kurt Groshans received a fair trial.
Tonight, a settlement could soon be reached in the case of a photography business that closed up shop, leaving customers without services. And just moments before the show, KX News received a response from Mr. Glosser's attorney, and that's one element of the case that has been missing so far. For such a violent crime, we've heard very little about the blood evidence. I've got the bills.
All right,
so
we'll see how it goes.
I did pretty well in the first round.
You're still behind me, so.
Coming up next, we'll see for how long. Coming up next on KX News.
KX News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Brooke Williams. Thank you for watching KX News. Nicholas has the night off. Leading local tonight, reports show that yesterday Bismarck broke the daily record for most snowfall for April 12th, a total of 10 inches falling in the capital city yesterday. That beats the old record of 3 inches back in 1991. Many sheltering at home today on day 2 of this April blizzard, and we continue with our team coverage for you tonight. We'll be checking in with Alicia Huck a little later on in the show, but we begin this evening with Adrian Oglesby. Adrian, like many of us, you were sheltering at the station overnight. You're in the station parking lot now. Just how deep are those snowdrifts out there? So great that we have people like that helping others around town. And for more information on how to contact Jacob for a ride, head to our website, kxnet.com. Cold temperatures may be keeping most off the roads, but first responders have to brave the storm and get their jobs done. Kiara Brown is live in Minot to tell us how Trinity Hospital is getting around in the snow. Kiara, how are you? Thank you so much, Kiara, for that report. For those who don't have places to go, days like today can be extremely dangerous. As you heard Kiara mention right then, Ministry on the Margins opened their doors for people who need a safe place to stay during this blizzard. Ministry on the Margins has a coffee house and a food pantry that they've been using to supply people with their food needs for the next few days. Sister Kathleen Atkinson, director of Ministry on the Margins, says all are welcome to take shelter in the ministry, whether it's because you have nowhere to go or you just need a safe environment to be in. Sister Atkinson tells us what they're doing while they wait out this storm. We watched a few movies here last night as well. Sister Atkinson says the ministry opened late Sunday evening and will stay open until the storm passes for anyone who needs warmth during this winter storm. The National Weather Service calls this spring snowstorm historic. As Becky Farr reports, it's jogging the memories of many who recall a similar event back in April 1997. Well, Tom, we're glad you survived and you're still with us. And viewers have been sending KX News messages about another big storm in 1984. People recall the snow piles being so high they could walk right up to their rooftops. Tom Schrader will have more about that snowstorm for you a little later on in our newscast. Coming up on KX News at 6, we continue our live team coverage by checking in on Alicia Huck as she attempts to shovel her way out of the mess outside. And the domestic violence crisis line continues to be available for those in need, how they're helping out despite the snowstorm. Plus, many of us are wondering when all of this will come to an end. Chief Meteorologist Tom Schrader will be back in just a bit to give us an update. Kate's parents may have never imagined that making her life's dream come true would have started with selling her bed.
Pretty ambitious and very daring. She liked kind of a thrill seeker like her dad.
Kate rarely shied away from a good adventure.
When she was sick with her cancer, occasionally she needed to use oxygen from time to time. And one summer, her older sister was visiting, and they had the jet skis out, and Kate had her oxygen. And she wanted to go, so she just threw it in a backpack and slapped the backpack on and jumped on the jet ski, and off she went.
Kate also wanted to help people. She attended nursing school, worked in the medical field, dreamed of being a flight nurse, and seemed to live life to the fullest until she lost her battle with cancer Valentine's Day of this year.
Anything she could do to continue her life as she knew it or wanted it to be, she would do.
When Kate's parents posted her bed for sale, Jeff Metzger responded. At first, it seemed the deal would fall through, but Jeff felt something, or someone maybe, pulling him back to this bed.
In the course of the conversation, I might have mumbled or stumbled or something. I said, well, you have to forgive me, I was working late last night. And she goes, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I'm a pilot here with Sanford. I fly the medevac. And she got real quiet.
I was like, my goodness. I just melted because so often Kate would say, when we were in the hospital, Mom, do you hear that? There's another one taking off. Do you hear that, Mom? One just landed. Oh, I wish I could be out there. Do you see that? And she just really liked that.
Jeff, who served in the military, says he and others had a tradition of sorts, a way of honoring those they lost when they took flight.
And we took the tassels from her high school graduation, and we hung that up in the aircraft, and we just left that there for a little over a week, and we've flown multiple flights with it, and it's just kind of, you know, in the Army, a lot of superstitious folks, and get ready to take off, and you reach up and touch that thing, and it just kind of refocuses you on what you're doing and why you're doing it and that kind of stuff. So, and it gives you a little feeling of peace that, you know, you have one more co-pilot there, someone to help keep an eye on things.
And that's how Kate became an honorary flight nurse with Jeff and the rest of the AirMed 3 team.
Oftentimes she would say, you know, why doesn't God let me get well so I can go out and help people? And I would try to explain to her how I saw it. I'd tell her, take a higher view, try to see it from God's eyes. He has a plan for you. It might not be your plan, but it's His plan. And you're touching a lot of people through your illness and your suffering, even though it's not what you want. It's what He needs from you.
Maybe Kate is looking down on all of this. Cindy and Glenn meeting Jeff, taking flight as an honorary AirMed crew member, and the social media post that has thousands of likes sharing her story.
She'd be pretty excited about it, yeah.
Yeah, as much as we weren't sure if we wanted to do this, we didn't dare not. Yeah, but she would want us to.
Kate has now earned her wings in more ways than one.
As her sister said yesterday, her purpose was fulfilled.
I love how you do this, Senator.
It was at times a heated exchange as State Senator Tracy Potter and Attorney General Drew Wrigley went back and forth on the issue of the deleted emails and the open records request that led to its discovery.
I was asking, where did you get your agency get the authority to ignore the state statutes?
Our agency is not ignoring anything.
Well, yeah, I think,
No, we're not.
that you are, but
No,
regardless,
you don't.
at the end, yeah, I do.
No, you
But
actually
at the end of this, I want you to know what.
I know that you don't look around this office.
The last question that I asked you, the last thing I said to you in the letter, which you will read, I'm sure.
You know what, though? You know what, Senator? I'm not going to stand here and listen to that.
The letter Potter is referencing is this one that he sent to the Attorney General's office earlier this week. Wrigley says he received it only minutes before today's discussion. In it, Potter questions why there was no formal process authorizing the deletion of the emails.
The deletion of a personal email is one thing. Deletion of any official government activity, any communications that are related to fiscal, administrative, policy issues, that's a whole different issue.
Yeah.
And plus, the archivist has another role, and that is he has to look at stuff to find out if there's historic record. And you'd have to agree that Wayne Stanchum's historic record is valuable.
You will not find a person more disadvantaged by that deletion than me.
Right.
As the person who has taken this office, succeeded Wayne Stanchum, there's no one who would rather have those emails than me. Nobody.
But the emails were destroyed, and in a joint news conference with State Senator Joan Heckerman, Potter says the records belong to North Dakotans and should have never been deleted.
Liz said that Troy approved the first deletion.
That's what she told us, and then also there was an email from her where she referenced the approval. Yeah.
But then, you know, 3 months later, she deleted Troy's emails. Did she say that she got your approval for that? I assume not.
No.
So how
no.
did she get the authority to do that?
Everybody, as best has been explained to me, for the 20 years that they were here, when Liz spoke, it was with the authority. Yeah, you get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not an attorney,
She didn't
right?
have mine. But what she did have was the authority that she was still going into the emails every day.
What many are calling for and what the Attorney General has pledged is a written retention record for his office going forward.
We're going to have a written policy, but we're creating it right now because I didn't inherit one and we're putting one in place.
KX News has placed an open records request for emails exchanged regarding this issue since it came to light. We are waiting for the Attorney General's office to produce those records. Josh Minnie will also have more for you on these issues, including a discussion of the request for information on a lease cost overrun that led to the discovery of the deleted emails.
You don't think about those the daily things as, like a couple of days ago, I got an appointment call for his dentist appointment.
Whether Chase Hurdle will be home in time for Christmas is unknown, but his father is already preparing for his return.
His stocking is there. We bought gifts for him under the Christmas tree, and hoping that, we will find it.
Chase was seen on video surveillance leaving Bismarck High School just before 9 a.m. November 2nd. Police say several people reported seeing him on Memorial Bridge that same day.
There was also a report that morning, also a report of somebody that jumped from Memorial Bridge. The description that was provided does not match Mr. Hurdle, so I can't say that's the same person. However, I can't discount it either because we haven't located the person that's been reported to have jumped off the bridge.
But his parents say that simply doesn't sound like Chase, who they describe as a strong student with good grades and a close relationship with his siblings. The few possible sightings of Chase in nearby towns cannot be confirmed, and the posted flyers, water searches, and police investigation have turned up few leads as to where he could be.
It's tougher to locate somebody the longer they're gone.
But Hurdle was found once before. In July, Bismarck police took to the police department Facebook page saying they located a person who didn't remember anything, including his own name. That person was soon identified as Chase Hurdle and reunited with his family. His parents describe that incident as an isolated occurrence and say they haven't experienced anything like that with Chase before.
If Chase is listening, I wanted to tell you, Chase, that I love you, and I wanted you to come home and let us know that you're okay. We have hope and belief that you're fine, but just let us know that you're okay. We love you.
The Christmas season is often seen as a time of hope. Now Darius Hurdle holds on to hope that his son will be found safe once more.